The charcoal burner and the fuller on Chew English. Aesop was a famous storyteller from ancient Greece. His stories were so famous that they are still used today in every single classroom across all cultures around the world. So, today we will look at the charcoal burner and the fuller. A charcoal burner carried on his trade in his own house. One day he met a friend, a fuller, and entreated him to come and live with him, saying that they should be far better neighbors and that their housekeeping expenses would be lessened. The fuller replied, "The arrangement is impossible as far as I am concerned. For whatever I should whiten, you would immediately blacken again with your charcoal." The moral of this story is like will draw like. That is another interesting story from Aesop. These stories are well known around the world, and you probably learned this story when you were a child. And if you didn't, congratulations, you just heard a new story. If you're a parent or you're a teacher, you can use these stories to relate them to your students. If you're a parent, you can relate these students to your child and practice with your children your English. Repeat and replay these videos as many times as necessary in order for you to feel confident enough to tell these stories to others. You can tell these stories to your friends and share them. Replay these videos with other friends that are learning English. Now, you might have noticed that I underlined a couple of words for our vocabulary. The first word that I underlined is the word charcoal burner. A charcoal burner. This charcoal was made for cooking, and where I live in Puerto Rico, in the mountains, people still make charcoal in the mountains in case the power goes out and you can't cook. You use this charcoal to place it on the grill, and just like a barbecue or a grill in your backyard, you can cook your food without electrical power. Or some people have, for example, propane. They have stoves that use propane. And if the propane goes out and the person that brings the propane to the house doesn't arrive in time for dinner, then we use a bag of charcoal that's been stored underneath the house, and we use that for cooking. So charcoal burners are still in use today, but what about a fuller? A fuller is a person that takes wool from a sheep and beats it with his feet or stamps on it with his feet and washes it in order to make it thicker, fluffier, and white and clean to remove all the impurities. So these two trades are incompatible with each other if they are in the same place. One is always making things dirty with the charcoal in the air and the soot, while the other is trying to keep everything clean. So like-minded people, like attracts like-minded people attract each other together. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed our 3 to 5 minute story and our time here. I know I did. So I invite you and I challenge you to replay these stories with your friends until you feel confident to tell each other these stories and share these stories, maybe in a group of English language learners. While you have some coffee, I learned an interesting story today. The Lion and the Mouse, the charcoal burner, and the fuller. Or any other story that we have here and we share with you here on Chew English. Like I say in my classrooms, in order for you to learn to speak English, you have to chew English, one bite at a time. So, until next time, I hope to see you in our classroom, in our next classroom, in our next sessions. Until then, bye-bye.